How you doing? How you doing? It's Chris the Method Man. And today, boys and girls, we have a special guest, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, Miss Shana Simone Wallace. Ma'am, it's a blessing. It's an honor. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, I heard about some new music. Forgive Me, Lord. So, what was that inspiration for that song? And was there just something that happened in your life, or is just a feeling?
That's a good question. So when I write, songs just kind of come to me, and it could wake me up from my sleep. I could be in the shower. I could be like, when I started writing this song, I literally was in the shower and it just kind of came to me. So, oh, sorry. So I had written the first verse of it, and then for a long time, I had writer's block. And then when I came up to the point of wanting to record it, I just kind of sat down and came up with the rest of the song. But it does kind of tell my journey a little bit because, um, I have a past, like a lot of people, that I'm not always
Yeah.
proud about.
Yeah.
And I was inspired to write that and thought of my past and where I'm at now and where I've come to, and just, I guess, thinking like, I'm not worthy of the blessings that I've received and that I'm receiving in spite of how I've been in my past. God has forgiven me and he still continues to bless me. So I wrote that song hoping to inspire others to have um, I guess, a sense of repentance. I think we all have a sense of repentance, whether we're saved, if we know God or not. We all have that guilty conscience, and I want
Yeah.
this song to be like appealing to all ears, even for sinners, because I
Yeah.
believe they all can still feel remorse for things they've done. So,
Of course.
hmm
Like even with politicians, right? Some of them they act like I'm not trying to judge a man, but
right,
them act like they have no remorse for citizens' feelings. like for
that's
instance,
true.
Ted Cruz, the man
Oh,
who took his family to Cancun while other people were suffering in Texas.
right. Oh, yeah. People
Yeah,
had a big, big problem with that.
and I feel like if there's more Jesus in those areas of life, whether you're a politician, whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever,
Right.
life will be better.
Oh, yeah. Think about Putin. Another example would be Putin.
Yeah,
Like, you know, people like him make you wonder, like, how do they put their head on a pillow at night and sleep peacefully and just have no kind of feeling of remorse or, and that's a good example. I would hope and pray that if for some chance they heard my song, that they may feel inside like, oh God, maybe I should be repenting and saying, forgive me, Lord, for these things I'm doing and I've done, and, help me to see the way.
yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like honestly in life, I can't judge a man about what he does, because then
Right.
God's going to. So,
Oh, yeah.
so the only thing I can do is pray for that person, and
Right.
God have mercy on his soul. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So when I was reading your bio,
Hmm.
performed at the. I'm trying to see if I can read my notes. Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
Performed the national anthem at Blue Rock Stadium. Was
Yes.
there any was there any ner- nervous was there any nervousness going into that?
um Not, no, Blue Rock Stadium was kind of one of the uh maybe not as intimidating performances of the national anthem. I do have a few other performances of the national anthem that really had me, of course, nervous, but so excited to where I had to let my excitement overtake my nervousness. So I sang the national anthem at the U.S. Women's World Cup soccer championships at Taylor Stadium in Jersey, and that's the crowd that I said had 30,000 people.
Oh wow.
And I was in the middle of the field, and at the time I had my Air Force blues on. I was dressed in uniform, and it was on ESPN, and it just was like the roar of the crowd at the end of that national anthem was, I think that was like the biggest reward I've gotten for singing to a crowd. They really, really loved my rendition of the national anthem. And I was very nervous going out there, but like I said, I was so excited to be there that I just had to let my excitement take over.
Okay. You also
Yeah,
performed at the Air Force Base, Dover Air Force Base.
right.
So how was that feeling of pride when you perform for them and for the men and women who fight for our country?
Well,
Can you,
interestingly enough, I did 20 years in the Air Force. I don't know if you
oh, wow.
saw that. Yes. So I
No, no,
served. Oh, okay. Yes. So I served for 20 years in the Air Force. I made it to the rank of Master Sergeant, which is an E7. And during my time in the Air Force, um, that's when I really started getting, once people caught wind that I could sing the national anthem, then I started getting a lot of requests, not only on base, but off base as well. As a matter of fact, that was how I got the performance at the Taylor Stadium for the U.S. Women's World Cup. That was through the Public Affairs Office at Dover Air Force Base. So they started kind of scouting me out for different events. And they even flew me to California, and I sang in Beverly Hills at a star-studded gala out there. So it just really opened a lot of doors for singing the national anthem, and hopefully, I'll be getting a lot more opportunities with the national anthem. I know a lot of people have you know, their viewpoints about the national anthem, but because I've served, I do still feel a strong sense of pride when I sing it. So I would like to continue to do that more.
okay. So well, to piggyback on your question,
Hmm.
like with the in 2016, the Colin Kaepernick situation, was there any, you feel like any like disrespect towards that, or you knew the purpose of what Colin was doing?
I talk about that subject all the time because I'm big time into football. I love football. And when that happened to him, to this day I talk about how I think he was treated so unfair. They encourage Americans to have the freedom of speech, to stand for what you believe, you know what I mean? And then I think for them to set the example they did with him was just, I think it was so wrong. I mean, he has every 100% all the sportsmanship he needs. He's like, I don't think he did anything to put him where he's at now. And I was praying like, God, please let him get signed again. Like even last season, I said, please tell me Colin's going to get signed again. And nobody has picked him up yet. And it's so upsetting to me. His own grandmother said that from the day the NFL let him go, he's he has still practiced and stayed ready as if he was still in the NFL. And probably to this day, he still stays ready. And I just pray and hope that somebody gives him another chance because he deserves it. But he just stood for what he believed, and
Yeah,
he should have been able to do so.
yeah. But I mean, no matter what you go through in life, you still gotta have faith. So
True.
it's like your grades can get bad, but I still
Right.
gotta have that.
Right.
But when I have that faith, everything's gonna get better.
Right. Right. I might have failed that exam, but this next one I'm gonna pass it. I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass it. Right.
So how did you know, I guess, that you wanted to be a singer? Because I know when I was reading your bio, at 5 years old, you grew up in the church. So
Right.
how did you know that you had that gift and you wanted to share it with the world?
So in church, my dad's a pastor, was a pastor for many years. He's a bishop, and both of my parents are ministers. So I always grew up singing in church. I have seven sisters. There's seven girls. So at the time, my mom would get us together and she would make us sing when my father had to preach at engagements. She would get us up there and sing. And then, even in the youth choir at church, they would ask me to sing solos, and I would be so nervous to do it because I didn't have faith in myself. But I knew I loved to sing. So I would get up there in spite of. But it wasn't until around 14 when my sister really, she sat me down and was like, Shana, you really have a gift. Like and she had asked me to learn this song that I just didn't feel that I could do. So I said, "Are you kidding me? I can't sing this." And then she's like, "Practice it for a week and come back to me and sing it." So I sang it for her, and it just like after that, I was like, "I'm ready." So then, actually, at 14, that's when I wrote my first song. Um, and it was called "For Once in My Life," and I recorded it. It's so many years ago, but I started writing at 14. And then at that point, I just got a bug for getting into talent shows. And then there's, a lot going on the music scene in Philly. So I started going to a lot of the open mics and really connecting with a lot of the music scene in Philly in the tri-state area.
Mhm. So do
Yeah.
you think you walked in your purpose at a
Oh,
young
yes.
age?
I do. I do. However, when I look back, and I always encourage other singers, especially young people that know that they have a passion for singing, I encourage them to invest in their gift, invest in themselves. We're quick to go out and get a $20,000 car loan, but
Yeah.
we're not willing to take $20,000 loan and invest in our gift and pursue it. And I wish I had done that earlier in life. I
Yeah.
don't believe in harping on shouldas, couldas, wouldas, but in hindsight, I know for a fact if I had had more confidence and faith and poured more into my career financially at that time, that I would have probably been, you know, years ago, I would have already been, where I dreamed to be. But also, I guess I've learned a lot over the years, and I feel that right now in my life, I've come to a point where I've learned enough and reflected enough to know how to continue to move forward and to be successful with it at this point in my life.
Mhm. 'Cause I feel like a lot of times in life, like it's so easy. Everybody does it, right? That we
Hmm.
talk ourselves out of a blessing. Oh,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I could have done this,
Hmm.
but I feel like instead of worrying about that, go for it. If God put that dream on your heart, He's gonna tell you if
Yes.
that dream becomes a distraction.
Yes.
He's gonna wait for your protection. So,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I'm just glad that whoever has a dream in life, that you go for it, but bring
Yes.
God in it.
There you
Because
go.
when God is not in it, it's gonna fail regardless. It's gonna be confusing. you
Yes. Yes.
so yeah,
Absolutely. Gotta have
so
him in the equation.
yeah,
Hmm.
anything.
Yes. Even with
God will
school.
still,
Look, you said you talking about school. Even with school, right?
yeah, anything. Because
Yes.
anything go bad, but you gotta have that faith. You got to,
Absolutely.
you
You
know.
have to have faith and you have to have confidence in yourself. And I was saying something recently about the difference between a talent and a gift. And when you look up the definition and the meaning behind having a gift, a God given, well, talent or gift, it mentions how when God blesses somebody with a gift, that means He thinks that you're worthy of having it.
Mm,
So, and He trusts you to carry it through. So, I think when people forsake the fact that they have a talent or a gift, it's kind of like a slap in God's face. Like, I know you gave this to me, but I don't think I'm good enough to do it. No, it's like you gave this to me. I'm worthy of this. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like, I feel unworthy of the gift He's given me. So in exchange for the gift He's given me, the least thing I could do is use it in return to Him.
yeah,
Hmm.
because I feel like a lot of people, as they get older, they're like, oh, like for instance, oh, I wanted to be a Southern cheerleader, but I was too scared. I'm like, you were
Right.
too scared,
Right.
you know.
Oh yeah.
So they say I can do
Fear.
all things. They say I can do all things through Christ, right?
Yes.
So no
Absolutely.
matter the opposition, no matter the science, I can defeat it.
Hmm.
It might not be
Yes.
scientifically possible, but with God, it's not impossible. So, you know,
Absolutely. Yes. And if you keep that in mind and just push forward, anything can happen. Anything. I just feel like, when I meet celebrities, I never feel intimidated. Some people feel like, oh no, oh God, there goes such and such. Like, I mean, no, I feel like they're people just like us. And I feel like, like moving forward, I don't know if you saw in 2023, I'll be performing at the SOAR Awards in Illinois. and everybody who's who in gospel is going to be at this event. And I was blessed to have secured an indie spot to perform at that event. And my sister was telling me the other day, she said, Shana, when you go and sing at this event, she said, walk through there just like the rest of them do. You know,
Yeah.
just like Mary coming in the door, that's how Shana Simone needs to come in the door. It
Yeah.
just like Jonathan McReynolds gets on stage is the way that Shana Simone needs to get on stage, and she's right. I need to present myself that way, because if I present myself that way, that's how people will see me.
Of course.
So,
Because
yep,
I feel like with just with a lot of celebrities, people are like, oh my
right,
goodness, that's Steve Harvey. I'm like, he's
right, right,
still a person. He's still a person, man. Like,
absolutely, yes. And like
he's a
my
person
husband says,
regardless.
that say it again. Sorry.
No, I was saying, I was saying a lot of people are like, oh, that's a celebrity. I'm like, okay, they're still people,
Oh yeah, there's still people.
regardless.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
like my husband says, they put their panties and drawers on the same way we do every morning, one leg at a
yeah,
time, right?
yeah. Honestly, the difference is there's really no difference
Right.
because we're all going to be judged
Oh
if you
yeah,
like. So I mean,
that's for
I'm glad
sure.
that, but they're going to die too. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
You hear it every day on TV and the news. Such and such
yeah,
died, and it don't matter how much money they had, how much
yeah,
fame they had. We all, it happens to
yeah,
everybody. So you just gotta actually, I guess the best way to look at it is that, they just they just were people that stepped up and embraced their talent and went forward with it and pursued it and were successful with it. And I feel
yeah,
like if they could do it, so can I.
yeah.
You know, they start they're everyday people just like we are, just like I said, just people who have evolved in their talent and career and been
Yeah.
successful with it.
So do you have like any creative process that you have like that
Hmm.
comes to you?
Creative process when it comes to writing or
Anything, just through music, writing,
um hmm. Well, I mean, I guess I could say one thing that I try to really, really do is rehearse a lot, uh, study on how to keep my vocals healthy, how to sing in a
Mhm.
healthy way, because you have singers that don't sing correctly. And then,
Yeah,
later in life, like Frankie Beverly, your vocals are gone. So I watched an interview on YouTube or Facebook the other day where Uh, even CC Winans was saying that she just hired a vocal coach and realized that she's been singing wrong all these years. It was mind blowing to hear her say that. But I just, with my creative process, one of the main things I love to do is to find an artist or producer or music that just moves me, and to study it and listen to it and practice it. And it amazes people because I can hear a song one time, and by the second, third, or by the chorus, I'm singing it because I've trained my ears to learn. But when I grasp onto a certain artist, I really just dive in, and that's my focus, that one artist. I listen to how they write. I listen to their vocal, how they arrange their vocals, and I just really study a lot just by listening. So I encourage a lot of artists that are pursuing singing or instrumental, playing an instrument, to study your craft and to really tune into people that are doing it well. And if you study them and try to not necessarily replicate, but try to mimic in your practices, mimic what they do, then ultimately you're going to reach a point where you're bettering yourself.
yeah.
So I think that, even Whitney Houston says she always had a vocal coach. I mean, look how amazing Whitney Houston sings. So I think that everybody still, no matter how good you sing, no matter how good you play, you have to continually study and practice your craft in order to keep it fresh and relevant and polished.
So as you were saying, so like there's this saying where everybody needs help, you know.
Mhm.
So like when you were saying that sometimes like you may know everything, but you need that other person to help you out
Mhm.
to get back to where you used to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
and never, yeah, and you said the right thing. Never feel like you know it all, because you just don't. You never hesitate to take criticism, even whether it's constructive criticism or not. If it's coming from, you have to consider the source. If it's coming from somebody that says it to you, that knows what they're doing, rather, then you need to take that and absorb it and do what you need to do with it. When I came off stage at the Steve Harvey Awards, backstage, Tamala Mann was there, and
Oh,
she spoke to me and said, you have a gift. Like, she spoke to me for very briefly, but what she said to me, I'll never forget. And it meant a lot to me. She said, you have a God-given talent. You have a beautiful voice. She said, sweetie, she held my hand. She said, just promise me you won't stop singing. Promise me that you will continue to do what you do, and to know that God is going to bless you for it. And that stuck with me to this day. That was back in 2016. So I just, I took that and thought, coming from her, I'm like, thank you.
yeah,
And reflecting back on that, those are the things that keep me motivated and pushing, because it's tough. It's really tough to keep yourself, motivated, and to feel like you have a purpose, and to feel like your music is going to be listened to and accepted well, and to feel like you're good enough. Like, it takes a lot. So when you get those little tidbits from people like her, I feel like you have to take it and embrace it and move forward with it. Sorry,
yeah.
I keep moving this
Honestly,
camera.
honestly, I guess when I started doing this podcast, I started getting some looks,
Mhm.
views by day. But then there
Mhm.
was one interview with the guy from All American, Kareem Grimes, and
Okay.
I feel like I was prepared in a way, but I feel like I needed that criticism. I needed that,
Mm.
you know, that constructive criticism to tell me, you know, you need to work harder.
Right. Exactly. And even though you might feel like I'm working harder, like, dude, what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, harder than what I'm already working. That's how you feel. But you got, like I said, you have to process it and be like, you know what? I need to pay attention to that and just take it
yeah,
for what it is. If he says I
yeah,
need to work harder, I need to work harder. You know?
yeah. Anything in life, anything in life.
Anything.
So if you could open a show for any gospel artist or any mainstream artist, who would that be?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of people I could think of. So I saw that you interviewed PDA, and I just love the music that comes out of Pajam. So some years ago, I had connected with J Moss. So and I still try to plug with them. I send them a message even if they don't reply, just to let them know that I'm still serious about it, and that hopefully at some point we can do some things together. But I would love to do a show with them, with Pajam and J Moss and PDA and those guys. They also have a group called 2103, some younger guys than them. And then, of course, in J Moss's network, he has Kiara Sheard, um, all the Clark sisters. That's his family. So, like, whatever's
Clark sister.
going on out there in Detroit, like,
Yeah,
I need to be a part of it. As you know, I'm working with Todd Dulaney's music company now, Dulaney Land Music. So he's really putting some things together. I'm in a group within Dulaney Land Music called the Elite Membership Platinum Group. And that's a group of select people that have worked through Dulaney Land Music that Todd Dulaney is trying, working to elevate. He's giving us master classes, and every day he's coming up with new ideas and exposing us to things. So I'm just hoping and praying that at some point, and there's been a little talk about it, that maybe some of the artists from that network will come together. And we've been trying to put tidbits in there, like, Todd, don't you think we might want to do a concert?
yeah,
So maybe one day, because there's a lot of talented indie artists working with Todd Dulaney right now, and I think that if we all came together with the passion we have behind our music and just get that opportunity to perform together, it would be an amazing show. So
Okay.
that would be another
Well,
one. Hmm.
go listen to them and interview them.
Yes, I'm going to send you some of the information.
Okay. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yes,
So
definitely.
when it's all over, right? How do you want to be remembered as a singer and as a person?
Oh wow. I want to be remembered as somebody that love what she does. That, like Shana Simone. She gave her heart, she gave her all to her ministry and to her singing, and she didn't give up, and her music has touched my heart, and that it and I want to write. Todd Dulaney always says, try to write music that will live beyond you.
Mm,
So I think it's one of my main prayers is that God gives me songs and music that lives beyond me, so that people, even after I'm gone, people will still listen to it and be like, "Who, that's Shana Simone." Like with Whitney Houston and people like Michael
yeah,
Jackson, like their music will live forever. And that's my hope, that I will be blessed to write songs and record music that will carry on even beyond me.
okay. So
Absolutely.
how has music impacted your life just in everything?
It's it's crazy you're asking that, because I feel like it's all I've thought about since I really started pursuing it. I wake up thinking about it. I go to bed thinking about it. I'm at work. I'm running my business thinking about it. And my kids are like, "Oh, mom, you just sing all day." Like it keeps me going. And it's just like, it's life. Like music is life to me. So I feel like, so I did music for years, and then like I was actively doing it for years. When I was in Philly, I did a lot on the circuit up music circuit up there. And then when I started my family, I put it on hold, to start my family and to start raising my children. But there was like an emptiness in me. Like I
Mm,
just felt like I had a deep, dark, empty hole in me that just could not be fulfilled. And even though everything else in my life was amazing, it was just something was missing, because music fulfills me. So it's like, if I'm miserable and nothing else is going right in life, but I can sing and I can write music and do my music, everything's all right.
you're at peace.
I'm at peace. I mean, even getting on the mic, you have some singers that they're okay with background singing. They're okay with just, touring with people and, being here and there. What I would always say when I wasn't doing my music is that I missed the mic. I missed the stage and I missed the mic. Like it's everything to me to get on stage and to sing and perform and to present my gift to the world. Like that's
Yeah.
everything to me.
So you also said that you're also a minister, right?
Say it again.
You're also a minister.
Well, minister of music.
Okay.
I'm a minister of
So
music. Yes,
you think through your music, if you can impact that one person's life who's going through it, that's enough.
oh, absolutely. Even if it's
Mm.
one person, for sure.
I
Um,
feel like, oh,
mhm.
I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like with music, it tells a story. Like with a lot of gospel music from Kurt Franklin, CC Winans,
Hmm.
Pamela Mann, it can talk about, man, just times that you were just in the dark. You'd be like, thank God I went through that, but now I'm out of that.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's just moments where I'm just thankful, man, that I have a good family. I have just things that I'm blessed about, you know?
hmm,
And I feel like the
yes,
world would be a better place if people would realize how blessed they are. Because
absolutely.
some people will say, oh God, I don't have a nice house. I'll be like, you alive, right? You
Right,
alive, breathing.
right.
So
What's
it's
more important?
so it's kind of just looking at not what you don't have, but what you have,
Mhm.
So
Oh, for sure. Yeah, a lot of people want to focus on what they don't have, and once again, I'll go back to, I'm just so thankful for what I do have, and just I always say, God blesses me in spite of my ways. We all have our ways about us, and we all have those things we do and those habits we can't break, and that we every day
yeah,
work on breaking. But in spite of that, I just feel so blessed to still have the things I have and to be able to do the things that I do. And I
yeah,
have such an amazing network of people around me, family and friends that support my every move. And it just means so much to me. It keeps me going, even on those days where I'm like, oh God, I don't know about this. They're like, what do you mean you don't know about this? You're doing it. So
yeah,
just having those little bits of encouragement here and there from my circle of people is everything.
yeah. I was about to ask you that question about who motivates you, and
Hmm.
my family as well.
Oh, yeah. My children, my husband, he's a big supporter of what I do. And
Yeah,
like I said, some sisters and close friends and my parents, like they all just, they'll say stuff to me and they'll be like, like when I told him I was going to sing at the SOAR Awards, and I'm like, I just want to be ready. And I forget who it was I was talking. I think my sister, she's like, you are ready. I'm like, okay.
yeah, yeah. It's a blessing to just have the support system, to have
Right.
a family that cares, because
Oh,
not
yeah.
not everybody has that.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's true.
I'm just
Hmm.
grateful, man, that I'm not where I should have been. I'm where I
Oh,
am.
yeah.
So,
Same
you know,
here. Same here.
so would you ever want to collaborate with any other, I guess, mainstream musicians, other podcasts, or upcoming musicians?
Yes. A singer that I think of is, I don't know what it is with his voice, but Jonathan McReynolds. His voice just is mesmerizing. It's so flawless and it's so unique. His sound, like, oh goodness, I don't know if I could think of any vocalist that sounds like Jonathan McReynolds. And I don't know, he inspires me. I just feel like he sings so effortlessly, and he's just so talented, and he's so humble about it. He gets on stage and he just sings just like it's nothing to him. And I look at artists like him and I feel like that's how I want to be. I want to get on stage and I want to sing like it's just second nature, and that nobody's around me and I'm just letting out this beautiful gift. So if I could, Jonathan McReynolds would be one. Let's see. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to do some collabs with the Ty Dulaney family, and let's see, of course, Jay Moss, because I just admire how he writes and his singing style and technique. Like he really. I did a duet challenge with him, as well as PJ Morton. PJ Morton is another artist that just blows my mind. So I do the duet challenges every time they post one. I do it, and it challenges me every time. Every time I hear their duet challenge, I'm thinking, oh God, I cannot do this. And then I get it, and I'm like, I'm ready. And just people like that can bring the best out of me. I don't
Yeah,
want to do duets with people that are just going to keep me where I'm at, or collaborations. I want to collaborate with artists that are going to hear even more in me and say, Shana, I hear you doing this, and just bringing out my creativity even more and my vocal
yeah,
abilities.
yeah.
So yeah, I
It,
could go on and on forever on the artists that I would love to work with, but those are some of the ones that come to mind initially.
mhm. It's good to have, I guess, harsh criticism. Is good. It's good for other people to give you criticism that will, I guess, put you higher. You
Hmm.
know, it could be
Definitely.
like, if I was a singer, it could be Grammy nominations. If you hit this note, Chris, you can go higher than ever. I'll be like,
Right.
yeah, hey, I'm gonna take that. You know,
Right.
so
Absolutely.
it's good. It's good to have those type of people in your life. You know,
Uh-huh. It is. It definitely is. Even in my circle and the music friends that I have in the tri-state area and in Philly, like, back when I would hang out in the studios, we would just have jam sessions where we just come around. I went to this jam session. There's a guy in Philly named James Poyser. He's a producer there that has the key to the city for music, and he's just, if you want to get into music in Philly, James Poyser's your man. So he would
Okay.
have jam sessions at his studios, and I would go there. And I remember one night Ruben Studdard came, and he would always have like different celebrities that would pop in. And, Jill Scott hung out down there a lot. And the musicians would just come in, get on the instruments, nothing rehearsed. And we would all take turns and just get on the mic and just, even if you just making, a lot of time we just get up there and just make stuff up and just
Hmm.
vibe for hours. And it was just amazing to me. I loved it. I could just sit there all night um and just what we call shed. So we would shed, we get together, and for hours we would just shed together and play music and do what comes to us. And
So
some of those are the best recordings, as you know. Some of those recordings are the best ones when you just off the cuff
mhm.
do what
So was
comes
there
to you.
a moment where, like, when y'all were in those, I guess, studio sessions, that y'all just created just a song and then y'all just recorded it? Was there ever a moment that was like that?
Well, when I recorded, so I did R&B and jazz for many years. I
Yeah.
recorded quite a bit of stuff in R&B, and one of the producers I worked with, I would just go and I would sit there for like, hours, and I would listen to tracks, and then when one would catch my ear, I would say that one right there, and then he'd leave me in the room for an hour, and I would write the song, and then I would get in the booth and record it just like that, like. So sometimes my best writing is if I have inspiring instrumentals. So some writers write differently. Some
Mm.
have to write the lyrics first, then they come up with the melody, then they add the
Yeah.
music. Other artists, like me, if it's really, really good music, I can listen to the music and the lyrics will just come to me. So I have like 3 songs I recorded where I literally told him that track right there, that track right there, and I would sit there for an hour or two and write it and get right in the booth and record it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Sometimes, and I like it that way because sometimes we overthink things.
Yes.
And I'm my own worst critic. And I promise you, I will listen to something I'll listen to something 1,000 times, be like, well, wait a minute, that note right there, I just,
Yeah.
and I overthink it. And then I'm like driving myself insane. So sometimes I like on the spot, give me a track, let me write it, let's get in the booth tonight, and just
Okay.
do it. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I like that process. I like that process.
Yes.
Um, I guess before the music stuff, you were an IT worker,
Hmm.
and you also own your own salon, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
so is it hard just doing music and owning a salon, or you kind of manage your time with that?
I manage it. I get a little intimidated with the thought of where things may go for me. And when I say that, what I mean is I don't want to forsake certain things because I know at one point when I was doing my music full time, for like 3.5 years, I did music full time. That's all I did before kids, before husband. And it could be very demanding.
Mm,
So, at that point, I would have a gig Friday night, two on Saturday, two on Sunday, like, and it was, if I'm not gigging, I'm in the studio, I'm recording, I'm traveling, you know what I mean? So it was very demanding and very draining. And a lot of times it feels like you're burning the candle on both ends. So I think moving forward, I just want to make sure I keep things, I don't forsake anything. My family, my kids, I always try to make them feel a part of what I'm doing,
yeah,
and to reassure them that no matter what happens with my career, that I want them right there next to me,
of course.
but thankfully God has blessed me with people, with my businesses. So I have a braiding salon. I've had that for 5 years, and it's pretty successful. But thankfully, God has placed people in my business that are trustworthy. So,
Of
I
course.
am kind of at the point where I could say, hey, ladies, I'm not going to be here for a week.
Yeah.
We'll round up when I get back. And it's a great feeling. So I love the fact that God has blessed me to be an entrepreneur because it allows me to manage my schedule.
Yeah.
So, in March when I go to Illinois, I'm going to tell my girls, ladies, I'll be back in 3 days. You know, I'm going to Illinois to
Okay.
do the SOAR Awards, and I know that when I come back, nothing's going to be in shambles. You know, so I just constantly pray for God to give me balance, um, because I don't want to ever get to the point where I'm feeling burnt out. You know, and I don't ever
Yeah.
want to feel to the point where, oh God, I don't want to do this no more, or I can't do it anymore because I have literally burnt myself out. Like, you know, I want to have a good balance between the two.
Yeah.
But prayerfully, you know, I tell people all the time, my clients are like, oh, Shana, are you leaving us? You know, who's going to do my hair? And I'm just like, hey, whatever God has for me, that's what's going to happen. We'll see when it comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Miss Simone, what's next? Like,
What's next? Oh, um, I'm trying to be wise about what I do next. And I'm saying that because I'm an independent artist and it's everything costs money. I don't care what it is.
yeah.
You know, recording, just everything is expensive. So I really want to record another song. I started writing another song. It's an up tempo song. And I really, really want to get another track out there. And but I'm trying to be smart about it because some artists, so for example, on Spotify, you have some artists that have been out for 10 years and they have 10 songs and they only have like 3 monthly listeners. I might be exaggerating, but I think it makes more sense for me to spend more time and money and focus on the song that I have right now, continue to promote it, continue to get it in people's ears and on, you know, streaming, and use that to build my following, which is going actually extremely well. And then once I get kind of to a pinnacle with that, then I want to give a second song to the listeners. So now you have people to give it to, you know what I mean? Because you could put all the songs out there in the world, but if you don't have followers, it's not going to go anywhere. So my next move, I really, really want to do a music video, but once again, everything costs money. So I started a GoFundMe, and I just have to personally say thank you to everybody out there that's been donating to my purpose and my dream, because that's the way that I'm going to make these things happen. So my plan is to do a live video at some point, and to hopefully, prayerfully, by the end of this year, to have a second song recorded and to start collaborating. I'm already putting my fillers out there and trying to get in certain people's ears. And
Yeah.
just, yeah, that's my dream, is that by this time next year, financially things will start, you know, coming back, reciprocating.
Okay.
um yeah. So
I feel like,
I shared something on my Facebook page. There's a singing group, you know, the R&B group 702. So they want to
yeah.
record a new album, and they put a GoFundMe out there, and they said, hey everybody, we're ready to record another album, but we need $100,000, literally. And they they
Wow.
started a GoFundMe, and they're asking for all their friends and fans to donate. And I'm like, that's a perfect example of when I tell people how tough it is being an independent artist. Now you got a group like 702 that was top selling singing group, but they don't have a record company behind them. So they're trying
Mm,
to release their next album independently, and they're literally asking people to help them raise $100,000. So everything costs money. So I just pray that I can continue to find ways to regenerate the funds to continue to do what I'm doing. And then I tell people to just stay tuned.
okay. So what is I guess one message that, or any shout outs that you want to say to your friends, family, like what, any shout outs?
Definitely. Shout outs to my family that has supported me from day one, from the time I was from the time I was growing up, and my sisters were sick of me thinking that I could sing Mariah Carey and hit them high notes, and
Yeah.
all the times they put up with me singing through the house, you know, trying to sing songs that I couldn't quite sing yet. And you know, my dad sings and all of his family sings. So all of my aunts, you know, and my dad have always been singers, and hearing them sing in church, was so inspiring. And so many of my family is so talented, and I want to show them that we can do this, and my plan is that, once I get where I'm going, that I can reach back and grab them. My dad, me and my dad sing duets a lot together, and sometimes it's funny to me because my dad's been ministering since he was a teenager, and
Oh
there's
wow.
times when he'll be like, "Oh, Shana," he's like, I don't want to get on the stage." I'll be like, "Dad, cut it out, just."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we encourage each other. So thanks to my parents, they brought me up in a household that was full of music all day and night. They kept records on the record player back then all day and night, and I think that influenced me to have a love for music and to understand music. And
Yeah.
just over the years, the people that looked at me and said, "Shana, you got a talent, you have a gift," and the people in Philly that gave me the platform to perform, and the open mics, and just coming out and supporting me anytime I did anything. And like I said, even up till today, everybody that's still there for me, still supporting me, still giving and showing up whenever I need them. I had I think 15 people or more that flew to Atlanta when I had to sing at the Steve Harvey Awards, and
Oh
the
wow.
the support is just crazy to me. So, and I know I'll have the same support with the SOAR Awards, and I just I that means a lot to me. So I just want to personally say thank you to all of you. I want to thank you once again for having me on your show,
Yes,
and
man.
for getting to know more about me and helping others to hear more about me, and just to know that I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to keep doing what I do.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you for taking out your time to come on, and I thank you.
Thank you, and good luck in school and in college. How much
Um,
longer do you have left?
2 years. I got 2 years
Okay.
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will definitely be, like I said, referring a lot of people to you. Um, just let me know if you want me to inbox you their names, or if you want me to give them your information.
You can
Um,
email it to me. You can
email
email it.
it to you.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. All
All
right.
right. And I just want to remind everybody, if you have a chance, and my daughter cracks me up, she's like, "Mom, you're a clout chaser." She's 13. She's like, "You're a clout chaser, Mom." And I'm like, "Call me what you want." Yes, I'm a clout
Yeah.
chaser. But I always say, "Okay, did you follow my YouTube page? Did you like my song on Spotify and Apple and iTunes and Pandora?" And
Yeah.
it's funny to me. So I just, ask everybody to continue to, if you have certain social media links and apps that you get
Yeah.
into, look for me on there, and whatever you could do to keep up with me, please do it. And
All right.
thanks
Yes.
in advance.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Yes, ma'am. All right,
Bye,
have a good
Chris.
one.
You
All right.
too.
That was Shana Simone. An amazing person, very humble. All right, knuckleheads. This is Chris the Method Man. Follow me on Instagram, Chris the Method Man. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out. Peace.